Hey everybody, so I'm here for I don't know why I'm yelling like that. Actually, no, it's because I don't have a mic. Okay. Okay. Today I want to talk about guarding your heart and why it's important and just like what it means and just my own personal experiences with that and what I've learned about guarding your heart. To start off, I wanted to read a verse. It's Proverbs 4:23. I'm in the New Living Translation. These are my bookmarks. One of them is a Reese's wrapper from like a while ago, but that's besides the point. Yeah, that's besides the point. But okay, I need to stop. Okay. Proverbs 4:23 says, "Guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life." My family members, like my aunt and my mom, my grandma, or just like all my family has always told me, "Issa, guard your heart." They would refer to this verse, and I would hear this verse a lot, and I'm like, duh. Like in my head, I'll be like, okay. The way that I saw it was guarding my heart meant don't do things you're not supposed to do. I kind of just felt like it was self-explanatory. Like obviously you're gonna want to guard your heart. Like I don't think anybody wants their heart to be broken or like their heart to be hard or like just to not be in a good heart posture. I have learned it's actually a lot deeper than that. So the main ways I believe that your heart can be affected include the things that you see, the things that you listen to or hear, and the people that you surround yourself with. So I just wanted to give some personal insight and just ways that how what you see, hear, and surround yourself with can affect your heart. First, what you look at. Me personally, I'm a comedy person. Like I like to watch comedy movies. I can go for a good comedy. Let's see, one of my favorites, probably like I don't know, because a comedy movie has to be, I have to laugh out loud. You get what I'm trying to say. So when I watch like Dateline NBC, it's like, you know, crime and all the like drama, and it kind of makes me feel nervous and kind of scared, especially if I watch it at night. It's like the more that I watch those, the more that like I'm kind of fearful. When I watch crime shows and shows about like just bad things happening, then in turn that kind of makes me feel bad. It affects my mood, the way that I react to things around me. Like I might be a little bit more paranoid about certain things. Like when it's nighttime, I might be a little bit more scared because of like something on Dateline happened at night, and then it's nighttime and I'm like, oh my gosh. But then it's like it kind of makes me feel fearful. You really cannot just watch anything, and that goes for horror movies too. Don't even get me started with horror movies. No, they never put me in the right mindset and just feeling and mood. That goes to your heart, and just like the way that you feel. It does affect everybody. Even if you've gotten used to it, it does affect you in a way. And also, if you're watching movies or shows that are like have a lot of sexual parts and like scenes to it, then that's also going to kind of trigger different things, and you know, it might cause like lustful thoughts and just like impure thoughts, and that also, you know, goes into your heart. Those are just like some examples of what you see and how that can affect your heart. So just being mindful of the things that you watch, because that can affect the way that you act and the way that you treat other people. Like it flows out. Then the things that you hear, so like music, for example, that's like the biggest one. You know, if you're listening to sad songs all the time, like about heartbreak and depression, then you're gonna feel like sad. And it's like, because I've done it before where I'm like, you know, sulking and I'm like, I'm just listening to this like sad song because I'm sad, but it's like no, like like no. And then if you listen to music with a bunch of cursing and it's like anger and talking about killing and stuff, then it's like your spirit is not going to be in the right place. And it's like if you are just feeling angry all of a sudden, and it's like, oh, but like you're listening to like angry music all the time, so then that just flows out of you. And also if you're listening to songs that are like more sexual, then that can it can do the same thing as like what you're watching. If you're watching stuff like that, it can kind of trigger certain thoughts and just like impure thoughts, and we're not supposed to, we're supposed to flee from that. And like it can be hard, but that definitely is something to be mindful of, just because that's something that I've noticed with myself. Like I really can't listen to like certain music because it'll just make me feel, it'll kind of put me in like a bad mood or just have wrong thoughts or like impure thoughts. The last one is who you surround yourself with. So that's just like friends or just whoever you hang around, is important to decipher who you're gonna choose to spend your time with, and just kind of give your heart, pieces of your heart to. You're not supposed to like share and just give parts of yourself away to just anybody, and that's in emotional, spiritual, and physically. Like it's not, you really do have to be mindful of who you are like sharing your life with. For example, if you're around people who gossip all the time, then you're going to get into that habit, because there's also a verse that says bad company corrupts good character, which is true. Like even if you think like, oh, like no, because now I've like been around people where it's like that's literally all it is, and it's like I've gotten into that and then I'm doing it and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I don't want to be doing this. It's draining me actually. And it's like I would get into the habit, and I've gotten into the habit. Like I'm still trying to like get out of that habit, honestly. Like I'm just being straight up, like I'm like praying about like not gossiping, just because that's not what we're supposed to do. And it's draining, it's rude, and it's just not right. That also like affects your heart. Like that kind of tears at your heart, especially if that's like not part of your character. And then it's just so many other things come along with that, like just other bad, like just it's just like a bad feeling. Also, like if you are hanging around people who are always kind of like sneaky or lying, if you are surrounding yourself around people that are doing that, you're eventually going to fall into that habit of doing that, and then that tears away at your heart and your character, because your heart and character like hand in hand. If you are just kind of reckless with who you surround yourself with, you can end up like not being yourself. You don't want to do that. And it's like, though, because the Holy Spirit like will help you discern like who you need to surround yourself with. So that's important. And just in general, if there are like things that you're not supposed to do and the people you're around are doing it, you want to like limit the amount of time you're around those people, because you want to guard your heart from those things. That's an important thing to remember when it comes to like romantic relationships, the things that you share and with the other person, and like just physically also, like you don't want to be giving that to anybody. So if you have a boundary, like you shouldn't cross that boundary just to guard your heart from being hurt, or your heart being broken, or your heart being like tore at, I think is what the word is. Setting up boundaries in that aspect, because if you cross those boundaries, then you're gonna end up being hurt, and you don't want that. Because your heart is so important. Like, your heart is so important. And that's something that my aunt told me, which is, don't give pieces of your heart to just anybody. Like, don't give pieces of your heart to anybody, because it's not for everybody. Like, your heart is not something to be taken lightly. It's not. It's really not. That's something that I've learned, because I was kind of just out here like, whatever, just whatever, it is what it is, like, whatever. No, like, it says guard your heart above all else, for it determines the course of your life. There's no like specific like formula for it, but the Holy Spirit will put things on your heart to tell you what to do, and, you know, to discern. Maybe I shouldn't watch that. Maybe I shouldn't listen to that song. Maybe I should not hang around that person that much. Because that's happened to me, where I'm like in the car and I'm like, hey, like, for this song. And then it's like, you need to put on Gyra and keep it moving. Like, because you don't need to listen to that right now. Because why? All that cursing. And then, you know, if I'm watching a show, it's like not my regular comedy show. Maybe it's like some inappropriate show. It's like, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Because you're 18. Okay? Like, no. And that's not exactly how it's said to me, but it's just like, you know when it's the Holy Spirit and when it's not. Like, you know the difference. I'm working on it too. Like, I'm, you know, constantly, the Holy Spirit will tell me what I need to do. It's up to me and up to you to listen to what he puts in your heart. And also, there's a person or a group, and it's like, you probably shouldn't talk to them. It's up to me to decide if I'm going to do it anyways or not. But I mean, the Holy Spirit is constantly doing things and telling me things in order to protect me and to help me guard my heart. So just listen to the discernment. He will guide you the way you're supposed to go. It's just up to you to make the choice. It's up to me to make the choice. That is all I had to say. But hope that this video helped somebody, and maybe it spoke to you in some way. I hope that you got something from it. But thank you so much for watching my video. I just pray that you guys have a great day, great rest of the week. Just use that discernment, guard your heart above all else. And I'll have another video up next week. I'll see you guys in my next video.